Welcome to my presentation on the Green Revolution and the Biorevolution. The Green Revolution is defined as the export of a technological package of fertilizers and high-yielding seeds from the core to the periphery to increase global agricultural productivity. It was started in 1943 by the Rockefeller Foundation. A research project was set up in Mexico to increase their wheat production. The Green Revolution eventually expanded to rice and maize or corn. The Green Revolution is important to human geography because it dealt with food production and the need to feed the poverty-stricken people of the world. One of the founders of the Green Revolution, Norman Borlaug, won a Nobel Peace Prize in 1970 for promoting world peace through the elimination of hunger. New crops from the Green Revolution, if maintained properly, could produce 2 to 5 times larger plants. This is because it used a variety of inputs, such as new miracle seeds, water, fertilizers, and pesticides. The new plants also matured faster. This allowed some farmers to plant and harvest 2 or more crops a year on the same piece of land. This helped productivity go up quickly. Some examples of this are that rice production grew by 66% in Asia between 1965 and 1985. Also, India became largely self-sufficient in rice and wheat by the 1980s. And the Green Revolution accounted for almost 90% of the increase in grain output worldwide in the 1960s and about 70% in the 1970s. In the 1980s and 1990s, over 80% of the additional production of grains was contributed to by the use of Green Revolution techniques. It is not a complete success though, because wheat, rice, and maize aren't suitable to grow everywhere. One problem is research on more versatile crops, such as sorghum and millet, has lagged far behind. Another problem is the new seeds are less nutritious, less palatable, and less flavorful. If people don't get a lot to eat, they need as much nutrients as they can get in the little food they have. The new crops are also very vulnerable. This can result in a massive crop failure. The environment has also taken a beating because of the Green Revolution. With all the new chemicals farmers are using, the ecosystem is getting polluted quickly. Also, the use of intensive irrigation has caused salt buildup in the soil and scarcity of water. The Green Revolution has also caused a greater reliance on oil and contributed to a worldwide loss of genetic diversity. Local crops are being replaced by a narrow range of high-yielding crops. With all the new technology, it has also decreased the need for human labor and allowed the wealthy and powerful to become more wealthy and powerful. A while after the Green Revolution came the Biorevolution. The Biorevolution is the genetic engineering of plants and animals with the potential to greatly exceed the productivity of the Green Revolution. The Biorevolution brought along biotechnology. Biotechnology is any technique that uses living organisms or parts of living organisms to improve, make, or modify plants and animals, or to develop microorganisms for specific uses. Biofarming also came along with the Biorevolution. Biofarming is an application of biotechnology in which genes from other life forms, plant, animal, fungal, bacterial, or human, are inserted to host plants. The Biorevolution has the potential to affect all crops in all territories. Biorevolution crops are even more vulnerable than crops from the Green Revolution, however. The Green Revolution and the Biorevolution are both relative to human geography. The Green Revolution affected many developing countries because the poor countries gave them education and supplies in the attempt to feed the world's people. The Biorevolution has the potential to affect all crops in all territories, and they both attempt to supply the world's people with food. They relate to globalization because the Green Revolution affected developing countries begin to produce more crops. This helps these countries become more self-sufficient and feed its own people. Some countries could even start exporting crops. Agriculture has also become a complex and interrelated in the worldwide economic system because of the Green Revolution and the Biorevolution. Also, demand for oil went up around the world because the Green Revolution put more reliance on it. This causes oil prices to be higher and the oil reserves to be used up faster. This affects all the people around the world because everyone uses gas. The following video is over the effects of the Green Revolution in India.
Statistic that sums up India's food story. Food availability levels are down to the 70s. For a younger generation, this may not resonate as much as for those who remember an older India, an India of famines where millions lost their lives to hunger and governments were forced to barter national sovereignty for food security. till the 60s arrived and brought back the hope of new technology, new high-yielding varieties of wheat that proved a dramatic turning point and led us to food self-sufficiency. But the Green Revolution has been a mixed legacy, and the greater irony, the victories of the 60s have now been reversed. Supriya Sharma reports.
1951, a 10th Prime Minister Nehru wrote to his sister Vijayalakshmi Pandit, also India's ambassador to the US, about his biggest domestic crisis that was fast turning into his trickiest foreign policy challenge.
Over the next 3 years, we imported more than 3 million tons of food grains from America, the infamous PL480 import. In the era of Cold War politics, seen as a blow to the national pride, and by the world as a sign of India's imminent collapse. Few could then imagine, a decade later, the country would see a dramatic turnaround.
Promised to end India's food misery.
यहाँ एक चीज उन्होंने ये कहा था, भाई ये ऐतिहासिक गांव है और भाई इसमें अब हमें उम्मीद है कि भी जौनती वाले ये किसान और जो आसपास के पड़ोस के किसान और काफी गैदरिंग थी, तो सभी भाई इसमें रुचि लेंगे और सब पैदावार को बढ़ाएंगे, क्योंकि देश में अनाज की कमी है। उसका असर लोगों में इतना हुआ कि बहन जी जो 100 मन क्यों पैदा कर रहा, वो 1000 मन पर आ गया।
मंडिया बेटे क्यों सड़का
पड़े रहा करते, जगह नहीं मिली, फड़ पे के कहाँ डाल रहे हैं, बोला वहाँ चलो बाहर, वो जब डालते थे, इतना क्यों पैदा कर दिया।
Jonti village bumper harvest was replicated across Punjab, Haryana and parts of Uttar Pradesh. By 1968, as wheat output went up from 12 million tons to 17 million tons, India's Green Revolution had arrived.
Indira Gandhi released a special stamp on wheat revolution showing the library building of the Pusa Institute, because she wanted to say that this revolution has come as a result of the introduction of science into farming.
M.S. Swaminathan, the scientist credited with introducing India to the technological breakthrough, tells us achieving self-sufficiency would not have been possible without steady political support, starting with the Agricultural Minister C. Subramaniam.
Many didn't have confidence this can happen, but some like Subramaniam had confidence. He even openly said, things are so bad, no harm in taking some risk. Lal Bahadur Shastri was very interested when he came to our fields. He spent several hours in a hot sun with me in the field. At the end of it he said, can you also give me some seeds for my house? So his plot number 10 Janpath, very good crop, very good crop.
This wasn't just political symbolism, but the peak of both interest and investment in agriculture.
Support systems like National Seeds Corporation, the Food Corporation of India, they were all set up. The Prices Commission was set up to calculate cost and what should be the reasonable price, fair price to the farmers. A whole series of steps were taken in a very short period of time.
अब ये स्थिति आ गई कि खान के भी लाने पड़ रहे हैं जी, क्या करें?
Farmers in Jonti village say it has all come a full circle. Sounds far-fetched, but examine the trends. Between 1990 and 2007, the growth of population has outstripped the growth in food grain output, and food availability is down to the level of the 70s.
हरित क्रांति आने के बाद में ये एवरेज बहुत बढ़ गई, 260 मन पर एकड़ पहुंच गया था, लेकिन अब देश ईयर टू ईयर डाउन जा रही है, अब फिर ये वापस जो है ना 50% पर आ गई है.
The promise of the 70s has soured.
50 फीट नीचे पानी है. पहले 5 हाउस पावर में काम चलता था, आजकल 10 हाउस पावर का कनेक्शन लेना पड़ता है. कीड़ा बहुत जल्दी पकड़ते हैं. जमीन जो है कम उपजाऊ हो गई है, हम 50 kg DAP डालते हैं तो वो कोई असर नहीं दिखा रहा है.
Ecologists say this is the price of the Green Revolution. Intense soil and water use has left vast stretches of land spent and unproductive. And so now there's talk of a second Green Revolution, of unleashing the productivity of Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, rain-fed areas where yields can still go up by 2 to 3 times. There's also talk of restoring the balance of Green Revolution lands. But here's why neither seems to be happening.
अखबारों में तो हम पढ़ते हैं ये हो रहा वो रहा, लेकिन हमारे तक कोई पहुंच नहीं. कोई भी उनका नुमाइंदा नहीं आता है, कोई गाइडेंस नहीं देता है, कोई खेतों में नहीं आता है। इवन दो हमारा तो पटवारी भी आना बंद हो गया।
So does the story of Jonti village mirror a nation's shifting priorities? Where the fear of a food shortage no longer haunts prime ministers till global inflation hits home in an election year.
I lost faith in political will by speeches. I want political action.
In New Delhi, Supriya Sharma for NDTV.